day, countries were always joining together and coming apart. Sometimes it's because the king of this country would marry the queen of that country and bring their countries together. It's like what happened in Spain when who was the king of Spain then? Ferdinand, when he married Queen
Isabella.
Yes, and they had two countries, Castile and Aragon. They brought those together. But anyway, I was born in France, and I became an explorer. Now, I went to talk with the King of France, King Francis.
Entrez, come in.
Votre Majesté, Your Majesty, it is an honor to meet you.
Oui, oui, yes. What can I do for you, Monsieur Cartier?
Oh, my bishop, Le Veneur, suggested that I come to speak with you. I am an explorer. I understand that you are interested in having more French exploration in North America.
Yes, 10 years ago, in 1524, I commissioned an Italian explorer named Giovanni del Verrazzano to explore the coast of North America.
Well, I have heard of this Giovanni de Verrazzano, but I don't mean to brag, but I have already sailed across the ocean to the coast of Brazil in the south. I would like to return to the northern lands. Will you commission my next voyage? That means, will you give me money to buy my ships and to pay my sailors and all of my supplies? I promise I will search for gold, spices, and especially a northwest passage to Asia. I am sure there must be a way.
You seem like a good man. You are well dressed.
Well, about 12 years ago, I married a woman named Mary Catherine de Grange, from a very, very wealthy family in Saint-Malo. And so I have nice clothes and good manners. So thank you, Your Majesty.
Yes, I will support your expedition.
Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much. So, on April 20th, 1534, I set sail from Saint-Malo with 2 ships and 61 men. It took us 20 days to sail across the North Atlantic Ocean. We sailed along the coast of what appeared to be the mainland. It was too big to go around, and also some islands, which we did go around. One of the islands, my crew saw thousands of strange-looking birds. We killed many of them, and we called that island Île aux Oiseaux, or the Island of the Birds. We encountered some native people. We traded some items with them, but we did not stay for very long. We came to another shore, and there we planted a large cross. On it, it had the words, "Long live the King of France. We claim this land for France." I was sure that this land was in Asia. The people called themselves the Iroquois. As the Iroquois chief had 2 sons. They seemed very noble, and so I decided, even though they weren't that much into the idea, I decided to take them with me to go back to France. Their names were Domagayo and Tainuani.
Where will this stranger take us?
It is a land far across the great water.
Will we ever return to our land?
Our father, the chief, made this captain promise. He promised to bring us back and bring more goods from a place called France.
I am frightened to go to this new land, but I'm so excited to see how these strangers live.
We must be brave. We have no choice.
And so I sailed with them back to France in the fall of 1534. I reported to King Francis about all the things that I have found, and I brought the princes to meet the king.
These creatures are very strange.
This land is unlike anything we have ever seen.
King Francis, I must take these men back. Will you support me on another expedition?
Certainly.
Very good. So on May 19th, 1535, I sailed again with 3 ships and 110 men. With the help of the Iroquois princes, Domagayo and Tainuani, we found our way from the wide open sea into a narrower waterway, like the opening to a river. We met people who lived there, and we had interesting encounters with them. I would like to show you what happened when we met these people, and I will show you something we call tableau. Can you say tableau? Tableau. Yes. A tableau is a frozen picture made by actors. Now, it comes from the theater. In France, we have a very good tradition of the theater. I need my 5 sailors, that is the 5 boys. I think we have one from each class. The 5 boys, come on up here. That would be you, yes, and you, come on, come on. And there should be 2 more, very good. Come on up here. Yes, come and stand up here. You are my sailors. Come and stand over here, Jonathan. Very good, very good. Oh, you can stand over here. Thank you. Good. These are my sailors. Don't they look like good sailors? Yes, very good. Now, I would like you all to stand. We are going to make frozen pictures, okay? So I would like you all to stand with a hand, your left hand, like it is on the railing of the ship, okay? And your other hand by your eyes, looking over this way to the right, looking over this way. Very good. And I'm going to count to 3, and everybody say tableau, and you freeze. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Tableau! Yes. So we come and we are on our ship, and we see natives. They come out from the trees. They are an Iroquoian tribe. There is an Iroquois woman.
I am an Iroquois woman. I come from Canada, our village, to see the strange visitors that have come up our river. Our chief, Chief Donnacona, stands below waiting and watching. I beckon for other women of our village to join me. Come, women. Like the men on our ship, we just stand and watch. We have a hand over our eyes. Like the men on the ship, we're curious and cautious, like this. When I count to 3, everybody say tableau. 1, 2, 3.
Tableau! Ça dure 2 jours. That means this lasts for 2 days. We are on the ship looking at them. They are on the land looking at us.
After 2 days, Chief Donnacona gestures for the strangers to come ashore.
Good. Now, boys, we put our hands out like this, way up, like we are looking around far in the distance. Okay? And 1, 2, 3. We ask them what they call this place. We are pointing at the land, the trees, the mountains. We are trying to be friendly, but also we are proud. We know that we will need their help to find the riches that we have told our king we will find. And we must need their help to learn how to pass through this strange land safely.
Let's all point off to the side. 1, 2, 3.
Tableau!
We tell them we come from a village nearby. It is called our Canada. Canada is the word for our village. We are pointing at it and trying to make them understand. Village, Canada.
And now I want you two to put your hands up like you're holding up a big log, up like that. And you 3, I want you to be like you're holding a stick that is held up like this, okay? So put your hands there. You come, put your hands here. Good, yes, you can come closer, you can come closer, good. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Good. They call all this land here Canada. That's what we understand. They keep saying Canada, Canada. So this must be called Canada. All the land, all the mountains, all the trees, it's Canada. Well, we once again cut down 2 tall trees and we put them together to form a cross. And we put the cross into the ground. We do this to claim all of Canada for the King of France and also to honor God.
Put your arms up, gesturing up to the sky. 1, 2, 3.
Tableau!
We ask them, why are are they doing that? They say it's only to mark the spot, but means nothing else. We do not fully believe them. We think it must be for some other purpose. We tell them about our God. His name is Kudanye. He talks to us and tells us what the weather will be like. When we die, we will all go to the stars and set like the sun over the horizon. And when Kudanye is angry, he throws dust in our eyes.
Here, all of you, step back in line and put your hands together like this and look at them. Over this way. 1, 2, 3. We tell them, after they tell us about their God, Kuduani, we show them that they are mistaken. We tell them that Kuduani must be a wicked spirit. We teach them about the one true God and our holy Catholic faith. And we tell them that they must be baptized according to our faith.
Stand pointing off to the distance. 1, 2, 3. We take them to Hokalaga, our village, at the base of Royal Mountain. We tell them about a place, Saguenay, a land of gold and jewels. They will find Saguenay further up the river.
Now all of you put your hands on your faces like this, like you are in pain. Go, you can stick your tongue out, yes, like that one. And 1, 2, 3. We try to journey to this place they call Saguenay, but we cannot find it. And we come to a place where the river has rapids with rocks and rushing water, and we cannot take our ship any further. I was sure that this river would lead to the Northwest Passage to China, but it goes nowhere. We go back to their city, Hochelaga, and we find a place where we must camp out for the winter. It is too late to return to France. The river is frozen, and our ship cannot go. The winter is much colder than our winters in France, even though France is further to the north than where we are in Canada. Many of our men become ill with a disease called scurvy. Oh, you do not have scurvy. It is a disease that comes from not having enough fruits and vegetables. And so they all lose their strength, and they cannot stand on their feet, and their legs swell up, and their muscles become black as coal, and their mouths begin to stink, and their gums become so rotten that their teeth almost fall out. Scurvy takes the lives of 25 of my men.
Hold one hand like a bowl, and hold the other like you are mashing something. 1, 2, 3. When these men become ill, we give them medicine made of leaves and roots to bring comfort and to help cure them. When spring comes, they are mostly better, and they prepare to leave.
And now men, put your hand on the railing again, and put the other hand up in the air like this, and look at them like you are waving goodbye. And 1, 2, 3. The ice has melted enough for us to leave, and so we say au revoir. That means goodbye. We leave this river and we go all the way back to France.
And when they leave, we go back to our village, Canada. You may go back now. Give the women of the Iroquois some applause.
And we give the better some applause. The river that goes through their land, we name it after one of our saints from our religion. We call it the St. Lawrence River. And the place that they call Royal Mountain, Montreal, it would become a great city that we now call, maybe some of you have heard of it, Montreal. Have you heard of that?
Yes.
In French, that means Royal Mountain, and it is at the place where the Iroquois had their city. But we never did find Saguenay, the land of gold and jewels, or the Northwest Passage to China, even though we kept looking in that place called Canada, named after their word for village. We returned to France in 1536, and I wanted to organize another expedition. I told King Francis that there were many resources and riches in that land of Canada, and that I was certain there would be a passage to China. But there was war in Europe, and King Francis could not afford to support me. Then in 1541, the king was worried that Spain was claiming much of the land across the sea. The war was over, and so he commissioned a nobleman, Jean-François de la Roque de Roberval, to establish a colony in Canada. I was appointed to be his lieutenant, his second in command.
Cartier, you take one ship and go this summer. Start to get things set up for our colony, and I'll come in another ship next spring with the settlers.
Very good, I will do that. So I sailed. I arrived in August, but things did not go well. I was unable to maintain discipline among my men. In fact, my men acted like a bunch of 9-year-olds. You know how that is. And the local Indians did not trust us, and they became angry and hostile. We did find gold and diamonds, many of them, we thought. But the winter was even colder and harsher than the one that I had spent here 7 years earlier. In the spring, I decided we could not wait for that Roberval to come with the main group of colonists. So we abandoned our base and we left and sailed for France. But along the way, we stopped in Newfoundland. And guess who we met there?
Cartier, where are you going? Why did you leave the colony? You were supposed to wait there for us.
Well, it was so cold, and my sailors were very depressed.
I don't care. We have orders from the king. You must go back to establish our colony. We'll all sail together in the morning.
Yes, sir.
It was cold. My sailors are depressed.
That night, when Roberval and his men were asleep, I gathered my crew, and we quietly sailed off, returning to France. I had had enough of Roberval and that voyage, and I needed some time at home. So did my men. When we arrived, we discovered that those minerals that we had found, that we thought were gold and diamonds, they were not gold and diamonds at all. They were just fake. They were found to be of no value, and as it turned out, Roberval had no better luck than we did in that land of Canada.
I was very angry that Cartier snuck away, but after a harsh winter, I abandoned our plan to establish a colony in America, and I too returned to France.
I was very disappointed in the results of all the villages. For the next half-century, our country, France, would show little interest in exploring these new lands.
Our experiences with these strangers changed our lives forever.
I returned to Saint-Malo, and I spent the rest of my life there, but my legacy has lived on for more than 4 centuries. I was the first European to explore the river that became known as the St. Lawrence. The lands I visited would become the province of Quebec in the country called Canada, which is the name we gave it for the Iroquois word for village. And if you go to the place called Hochelaga at the base of Royal Mountain, you will find a big city called Montreal, which means Royal Mountain. There in Montreal, you will find the Jacques Cartier Bridge. It was named for me. And you will find Place Jacques Cartier. It is a park named for me. And in that park, there is a statue of me, Jacques Cartier. Give them a nice big round of applause. I have to tell you, some of your teachers were a little nervous. So make sure to give them a lot of love today. Be the best you can.